Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, getting into some more Great League Go Battle League battles, but there's a catch in today's video. Because of this April Fool's event, the switch timers in Go Battle League battles and all PvP battles, whether it's Team Rocket or practice battles, have been switched from a minute switch timer to 30 seconds, and that has had quite the effect on the Great League meta because Pokemon that have debuffing attacks have a lot more play. Pokemon like the Fenceoxys with Psycho Boost, Pokemon like Skarmory with Brave Bird, Pokemon like, I don't know, but anything that has a debuff attack. Mew with Wild Charge, Melmetal with Superpower, there we go, I'm remembering them off the top of my head. Those types of moves where a Pokemon could throw the move, dip, come back in 30 seconds later, have a lot more play now in some Great League battles. But we're going to stick with our go-to team, and we're just going to switch up the leads a bit. So we're going to see how the Weather Ball spam works in some Great League battles, because we get off charge moves really quick before Pokemon can switch out, and that can also be a huge success point for some Great League battles. So if you're excited for this, I know it's the same team as yesterday's video, but again, you get to see more comps in action. Plus, we're going to be stuck with this meta. Hey, shout out Munchlax 2000. But we're going to be stuck with this meta for at least 5 or 6 days. So I want to give you the go-to team, show you how it could potentially be working with this adjustment to 30-second switch timers. And without further ado, if you're excited for this content, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Look at the shiny Mew. What a beautiful flex. That is actually a gorgeous shiny. The CP on it, not too amazing, but it is a gorgeous shiny. What I think I'm going to do here, see, now if he Flame Charge and buffs, we swap to Umbreon and kind of like force him to clear that debuff. So, like, you know, there's just different ways to potentially think about playing this. He farmed up quite a bit, so this is a good chance of a Flame Charge. First one does the least amount of damage, but we're going to shield it anyway. Wild Charge. So Wild Charge and dipping, like I mentioned. Okay, we definitely don't want to go into Umbreon here. But like I mentioned, Wild Charge and dipping, definitely a much bigger play now. And we out here spamming Weather Balls. Let's see how quickly these switch timers run out. You've probably done your battles already. If not, here's your first dose. We're already halfway through the switch timers, more than halfway. Only one move went by. Honestly, it sneaks up on you fast. It creates more opportunities to make some huge plays, like throwing a Dazzling Gleam like that and landing it. Big play by my opponent there. And the matches are a little bit less team lineup centric. Okay, that was a little bit more lag centric, but we're not gonna match up the Alolan Ninetales with the Mew now, because we have something else for it. He could Wild Charge or Flame Charge. He could choose to do whatever he wants. He's definitely going to let his Mew go here, and whatever the move is, it's not going to hurt us that much. Wild Charge be tickling Umbreon. Umbreon stays thick. Now, we don't want to overfarm in this type of meta now, because you overfarm, well, I mean, the switch timers aren't up yet, but if you overfarm and get too greedy, it allows for an escape route. So let's see what we got going on here. Do I want to, I guess I swapped to my own Alolan Ninetales, right? Yep, there we go. Get that in quick. I could have stayed in, but I don't want that Chestnut to build up energy. It probably would have superpowered and then dipped, as would have been expected. But it's creating quite the match here. Honestly, this could be a superpower here and dip, but it also could be an energy ball. Probably a superpower because... Oh, energy ball, okay. So I'm going to say, but should be able to get out. They have their own Alolan Ninetales. Yep, there we go. Great play by my opponent there, trying to catch the move. I respect the play completely. We're at 2 Weather Balls. We expected it because, again, switch timers being up so fast, it allows for potential sack swap plays that can flip matches. Like that could have potentially there if I didn't expect it to be coming. So I'm liking the switch timer change to an extent, but I don't think it should be a permanent thing. I think there should be multiple... Oof, I wanted to try and see if I can get up to a Weather Ball before he got to a charge move. I think there should be multiple leagues of this. I don't think it should be just the permanent thing for whenever, like whatever Go Battle League battles we're currently doing. I think there should be multiple leagues of this, like Great League with 60-second switch timer, Great League with 30-second switch timer, Great League again with 45-second switch timer. I think those are all options, or all things that should be options. Okay, I don't think one superpower takes us out. We're going to find out the hard way. I wanted to potentially pull a swap, but it could have turned into a farm down. Well, one superpower does take us out. Wow. But we get off the Weather Ball, and we pull off this match. I've never really seen the Umbreon on Chestnut matchup. And Umbreon stays pretty thick. So, even though super effective damage, Umbreon has a good chance of sometimes surviving those types of situations, even if it's just by a little bit of HP. Regardless, forced the charge move there because I was very close to my foul play, which would have been enough. And then Politoed had some residual energy to get the Weather Ball off, and we take match number 1. But, I'm trying to think more thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on the 30-second switch timer, how you felt about the battles. I do believe that it does require more skill than the 60-second switch timer, just because switch advantage is a little bit harder to keep, maybe a little bit less important. But I do think the 60-second switch timer should still be an option. And sometimes when matches are lined up like this, you're still in a pretty good spot regardless. But you never know. We don't know what the last Pokemon is. And my opponent could do enough dancing, because with the switch timers, they have plenty of time to dance around. But right now, we're in a very good spot. Also, those sets below, I've had a rough adjustment period to this 30-second switch timer. Definitely made some misplays. My opponents have definitely made some solid plays. Respect to them. And some really big swaps. Like, I fully expect my opponent to try and catch a foul play here. So, okay. There we go. Which they tried to do. And I don't want to come into Alolan Ninetales here, because my Alolan Ninetales won that lead so nicely. So I want to keep the Alolan Ninetales on whatever that lead was. What was their lead? I don't even remember what it was. And they're throwing this really... Oh, they were 1 mod shot ahead of me. That makes sense if that was an Earthquake. I almost want to bait them because they need to rely on their Politoed. So that probably would have been a play. But now my terrible memory of forgetting what my opponent's lead Pokemon is. I just know Alolan Ninetales does well against it. Has me a little annoyed. Now, they can't Weather Ball me. They have to Earthquake again. I mean, they could Weather Ball me. She's not going to take me out. I should be able to get to another Earthquake. What the heck was their lead? I guess I could try and force another shield. Oh, there it was. Okay. Abomasnow. I knew it was something positive. This is fine. I don't really mind this too much. The Politoed left with energy, though. So, again, very heads-up play, very aggressive. You can get extremely aggressive in these situations. Definitely try and force some mistakes. But I'm sitting... I still think I'm sitting in a pretty good spot here. And this also requires a lot more focusing. So my commentating has been off. I've been battling live on Twitch. I've been having a harder time paying attention to the Twitch chat. I definitely did not need to overfarm there. I got a little greedy. It could come back to bite me. Thank you for the gifted sub. Extremely appreciated. That was a CMP tie. Let's see if they decide. I doubt they decide the shields here. They probably come in with the Jellicent after I take out their Abomasnow. But I can just Gleam it. Politoed still has a chunk of health. Yep, they're in with the Jellicent, which makes sense. Honestly, I might as well come in. This is fine. Like, that was a good swap. I don't mind that my Snarl went through. I need to get off this foul play regardless on the Politoed. It does have a decent chunk of health left. Actually, has a lot of health left. I definitely should have baited with my own Politoed. But I think we could still leave this situation in a positive manner. But again, I'm losing track of this match. It's not as cut and dry, these matches. Can really force realignments very often throughout an entire match. I really think we need a 45-second switch timer. Oh, good play. Good play. I was trying to sneak in that Weather Ball, but I wasn't at it. We need a 45-second switch timer option. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comment section. I want to hear all your input. I'm really excited for it. I don't think anything that Jellicent throws, even a Shadow Ball, is going to take out my remaining health, because Jelly is just way too tanky. So, it being it's very defense weighted. Still did a lot of damage, but I should be able to Powder Snow down. Wow, they got to another move. They have that much energy. That's not ideal. Watch them pull this out. Honestly, this is a great example. As much as I hate to be on the other end of losing this, this is a great example of Switch not being that detrimental. Snarl down. How many Weather Balls do they get off? I don't think this Politoed has enough health. I don't think I throw here unless I get like 2 foul plays, which is possible. Alright, we throw. Or we lag. That's always fun. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We'll just sit there. We'll just sit there with the foul play and miss out an entire quick move. That's fine. This wasn't an intense match or anything. No, it's totally fine. For those of you at home, if you wonder if you're alone getting tilted in the middle of a match because of lag, you're not alone. And I lost because of it. I shouldn't have lost this match. They got a whole mud shot through. That just shouldn't have happened. That just shouldn't have happened. Again, props to this trainer for doing everything to keep this as close as it was. And I respect them for it. So they really did work and try, like, they worked for that win. But that just shouldn't have happened. It just shouldn't have happened. And it ended up being way closer than it should have been. Considering I won lead, I won swap. We have mirrors on the end. They did a really great job in playing it out. They really took advantage of the 30-second switch timer, which, again, thank you for the gift of sub. I highly recommend you try to do, especially in the losing situations. So you can make what looks like a losing matchup a lot closer, because that was definitely a lot closer, but I 100% shouldn't have lost. You can't tell me differently. It's just frustrating when that situation happens, and we move on to the next match. We're 1-1. Politoed on Lolan Ninetales lead. Now, it's tempting to go straight for the Gleam. It's also tempting to bait. I feel like building up for the Gleam is so obvious that I'm just going to... I'm gonna actually bait. I'm gonna hate myself when I bait Nail Shield. You know what? I'm not gonna bait. This is also the thought process that goes on in my mind while I'm battling. Because if they don't shield, I'm very happy I didn't bait. I'm very happy I changed my mind. So that works. They will get to another Weather Ball. I shall survive it. The question is, do they try and swap? That could definitely be a play. I definitely get to a Weather Ball now before they get to their next Weather Ball. Or not. They were at 2, really? Interesting. Okay. Them being at this Weather Ball makes sense. Is Dazzling Gleam 2 Weather Balls? Is that why? It's possible. We're going to go for a full Mud Shot down because we don't mind taking this Weather Ball damage. They're going to get off another Weather Ball. We're going to see what they have in the back. That was a very unfortunate lead situation. A little thrown off by it. Mud Shot down. No, it's cool. Keep on mud shotting. I didn't click the Earthquake right away. Keep on sticking out Politoed's tongue for all these Razor Leafs to come through. So losing this lead is definitely very unfortunate. Wow. And it's Charm. Alright. We're going to back out of this one. This was an unfortunate second match I have to run into. I'm trying to think if I wasn't caught off guard by the energy. I could have technically shielded that. I could have lined up the Charmer with Politoed instead, and then the Razor Leafer with Umbreon, but I don't think that would have been enough to win. I think I still lose that out just because of how oppressive those fast moves are. And I also would have been at a shield disadvantage, which means they would have also gotten charge moves off. So very unfortunate. I was surprised I didn't get to another... Oh gosh. I was surprised I didn't get to another Weather Ball before they did. I could have swore I did, but I guess my numbers were off. We're going to swap. We have 2 counters for this. I was going to say if they want to stay in, they're more than welcome to. That's 1 Volt Switch. See, now this could be a match where the 30-second switch timers are huge, especially because they were slow and stuck in the middle of those confusions. And we got a shield here. 2. And then without... That was 3? So they got an invisible one through? What is currently going on? I only really saw 1 Volt Switch there. But switch timer's up. Swap. 1, 2, 3. That time I saw 3. So they should be at another charge move. Our switch timers are definitely very out of sync, which is pretty ideal because I have 2 counters to the Victini, and I would just love to keep it away from my Alolan Ninetales. I'm sure they're going to... Okay, they're not going to swap now. I'm going to let this go down just because the Victini has fire moves for my Alolan Ninetales. Fully expecting that swap. But because they took a while... Actually, honestly, I probably shouldn't have even thrown. But we can come back in with Umbreon because of how quickly... So this is a great example of a match with these switch timers the way they currently are. Now, they can do V-Create here, which is going to be a heavy hit and fire charge move that'll debuff them. But it still hurts, even though it's only neutral. They can't exactly get out. Oh, it debuffs their attack and defense. I haven't used Victini and really looked at it since it first came into the game. That was a while ago. But now it's pretty tempting to probably, not shield it and just let it go. But even though we lost lead pretty hard there, we handled that Victini pretty well. Now this all falls down to what their last Pokemon is, and if I can get them to throw a charge move here, which I didn't get them to. They have a charge move banked, and they could definitely discharge me. So I want to save his shields. But this is like the greatest illustration of a match with the 30-second switch timer, because there have been so many switches and there's so many possibilities of how this match could have turned out just based on these quick swaps. Let that foul play come through. They swapped like I expected. I feel like my little Ninetales is going to die. They lunged me, so you know what? I'm going to stay in. They almost should be at another one. Oh, wow, they're not, which is Pog. I'm going to swap out now. Clear that debuff. They're just going to quit. And now we're 2-2 in the set. And again, switch timer is really at play there. You saw how many different swaps were there. And I lost lead. So even though the last match was a good example of my opponent losing lead and winning the match because of all the swaps, and it got ruined by lag at the end, that was a match that did not get ruined by lag, and my opponent not being heads up on the swaps like I was allowed me to pull that match out. So just throwing that out there. It's a small sample size. I want to hear all your thoughts, your experiences. I know that with how Niantic is and them working on the servers to throw in this new switch timer concept for some battles, I think made things even laggier than they were before, because how can Niantic make things laggier? I have no idea. But aside from that, I'm really liking the idea of this 30-second switch timer. Alright, so let's get into match number 5. Currently 2-2 in the set. Should be 3-1. No, we're moving on with our lives. And let's see how this 5th match is going to go. Okay, Alolan Ninetales on Pelipper. With how spammy Pelipper is, this could easily be a very switch-dependent match too. So, I gotta stay focused. Commentating is gonna be a bit off. How did they swap? I farmed over like 2. I farmed 2 over. What a swap. And I gotta get out. Oh, now we're lagging, which means our switch timers are even further behind. That's a different Ninetales. I saw Ninetales and I was like, all right, Alolan Ninetales is here. I was bringing in Politoed either way, but this was not the Ninetales I was expecting. Thank you for the biddies, Mark. Appreciate you. All right, we got his shields. I'm fully expecting this Pelipper to come back in ASAP. So hopefully I can just... Oof. This wasn't enough for a solar beam, right? Imagine I got solar beams. Okay, overheat. Oh my god, that hurt. Oh my god. That did a lot of damage. I would have preferred to shield that than this weather ball that's going to come through. Overheat makes sense. Because again, a debuffing move. A debuff and dip type move. That's like the whole strat now with these shorter timers. I really think we need to find a nice in-between with the 45 seconds. I feel like that would be optimal play without being locked in, and then with not too much of this drop and dip or debuff and dip type scenario. How are they already out? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, thank you for all the follows. This is actually insane. This is a great example, even though I'm being slaughtered because of it, of how to properly debuff and dip. And also, it helps they're catching all my moves. Well, it really helps they caught that first one. That first weather ball, even though it was out of sync, it was a very random catch, was definitely a great thing that led them to be in such a positive situation. And this is just GG. We have Azu on Azumarill. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. We're going to take that one. We should have been 3-2 in the set. Unfortunately, end 2-3. It was quite the experience. Definitely some shortened battles. We definitely should have been positive in this set. But I want to think about that last match, because there was nothing to do there. Umbreon is just stuck there. I could have came back in with Politoed. Maybe I should have played it out, but I feel like that would have been such a slow matchup. Politoed would have just came back in. The Pelipper would have came back in and been lined up to it. And Politoed was also almost dead, so it wasn't like it was going to destroy the entire Azumarill. And then the Pelipper was just also gonna have a field day. So unfortunately, these matches didn't exactly work how I could have preferred. I still should have been positive, but they were a great example of this whole new technique of battling now that the switch timers are so short. Now, you may hate it, you may love it. We definitely should adjust to it for the next 5 days until April 5th because we're kind of stuck with it. But I also do strongly believe that this should be a new thing to consider as a separate meta. I don't like that it's just like we're switching the switch timers. So when you do your Great League battles, now they're all 30 seconds. There should be the option to do 60 and 30, and they should have a 45-second one. I think a 15-second one would be way too short. But I also think that that might not be in the coding capabilities for Niantic, because not only are the Go Battle League matches now 30-second switch timers, so are all the practice matches, and so are all the Rocket Grunts. So that is a bit concerning that they might not be able to even do the idea that's being implemented, which I kind of hope they'd be able to do. But anyhow, let me know your thoughts on it. Not the most amazing battles. This is still my go-to team. I think it still works really well, even in this 30-second meta. I wish we could have had some different matchups there, but we had some great examples of this whole debuff and dip type meta that this 30-second switch timer has turned into, and we are going to adjust to it. We're going to continue to use this team, continue to have success with it, and we're going to definitely continue to climb these next 5 days, and I'll probably mix in some spice and get you some of that exciting content as always. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're on the Twitch channel watching this live, please don't forget to drop that follow. All those things are free. They're greatly appreciated. They really mean a lot to me, and they help me continue to push out this content for y'all. I've done enough chit-chatting. I will see you all in the next video for some more battles.